4 moments away from kickoff, and with Kai. And let's head on to Aguilas. Kaishu Yamazaki said goodbye to Kai FC. Tapos bigla bumalik.
With his teammates.
They take it, but wide here.
And it is one of the reasons why they have this opportunity.
Game, Rami Jaridi put up a clinic. Here's a look.
Yeah, we see
Here and there. That's why it's an entertaining season as this shot is saved by Cortez. Lost it. Diano getting it. Diano, low cross. Cleared off by the back line. Kaya were on the attack versus Army, wherein they won 12-0. Chance again now. Bodies in the box calling for it, but this is skied back home.
But it's a matter of really linking up, being there.
Here's the chance now inside. Is there an angle? They lay it off.
When those moments come, you have to be there, but as a center back, you have to mark.
Here's the foot race now, cutting it back. Kenny shoots. Not denied by the keeper. He's to shoot, but there was the stop. Oh, but this one, much here. Set.
Yeah.
Not good here if Nawala Maricha is in or is injured. Hancock, Amita. No one to support on that side though. And not. Here's the corner kick. And just like that, it is wide. But still a connection of sorts. Confidence to build on. Shuto Komaki. He expected better from himself when he referred to the captain. Here's the ball. Oh, floats in. That's the opening goal here. In 5 minutes like that, Kai FC get it. The defending champs officially take the driver's seat because they have the goal or a goal to show for it.
He is on the left wing and he is a player that's been tricky, also a product of the FEU program.
Here's a run on the far side, interesting, or the near side. Still not out of the clear.
Urgency there, getting the ball, playing it.
Hancock's header. My God. Thought about making a run, but received it here in front of the back line. Kenshiro Daniels. He's gotten a bit quiet here. The shot, though, is
behind the ball there.
Here's his ball, though. Cortez read it. They want to end this as soon as possible. If they're Aguilas, they want all the time in the world. But there was this shot. Taken. We saw that was high already. Mamoto, he wants to make amends for that earlier. But a superb clearance there. And Aspiro's getting clipped. That was the last kick of the game.
Equalize was there, and I feel like that was what really pushed Kaya.
Specific, the grandstand is like literally next to the pitch, so you can really feel the energy of the crowd. But we have Maharlika FC versus Tuloy. And you were mentioning, Natasha, dikit tong laban when they squared off in the first round. A lot has changed, definitely, because opening weeks, it seems like an eternity already. Maharlika got to beef up his roster. Tuloy got to do so with a few pieces also here and there. Do you say Tuloy come in with a nothing to lose mindset here? Maybe they can play loose, upset Maharlika. While you see Maharlika, of course, guns blazing, they are very confident in this end of the second round.
Yeah, you'd say that Maharlika do have the advantage coming into this matchup. They're coming from great momentum, beating Aguilas, truly with that factor of belief that they can still make it to the top 6. But then again, of course, you cannot take a team like Tuloy lightly. Though they've been having not the best results in their last few games, there has been a break. And what that break does for a team like Tuloy is that all these young players all of a sudden are refreshed once again. And now that they've had the break, they do have a chance to snap out of it and make sure that Maharlika stay alongside with them in the classification round. So everything to play for Maharlika, and Tuloy, a team that never gives up until the final whistle.
I did get to see the likes of Cyril South actually. They were taking time off in town center. So we got to say hello. Let's see if they were able to utilize that chance to rest, regroup, recharge. On to Stallion versus Manila Digger. That will be at 5:45 because Maharlika and Tuloy will open.
You look at tactical video. Well, you'd imagine that in the training sessions leading up to this match and in those tactical videos, I'm sure Coach Bing knows a lot about what to expect from Kaya in this match, which is good because it means that it's going to be an entertaining match. It's not going to be, hopefully, you'd hope that it's not going to be one team tactically dominating the other because they know each other so well. At the same time, I think Chino said it earlier, Aguilas, in the previous seasons at least, they've been, I think kryptonite is actually the perfect word to describe it. Because there have been results in the past where Aguilas just get one over Kaya, and it's not really a direct rivalry just yet, but every time I look at this fixture, I always think of that Copa final, and it was such an entertaining final. So every time I look at this showdown, I think of that match, and I always imagine that whenever these two teams meet, it's going to be very entertaining. It's going to be very heated and very closely fought. Hopefully, the same for this weekend. And yeah, a lot to play for both teams. Aguilas to try and secure top 6 and for Kaya to try and maybe, even though it's a very small glimmer of hope, to try and maybe pull themselves back up into that top 3 area of the league. So a lot to gain and a lot to lose for these two teams, but that should make it a very entertaining game.
Will Coach Bing's familiarity with his former team help? Or will it be another Coach Yu Hoshide masterclass? But if it's a Coach Yu Hoshide masterclass, he's still not going to smile, even if they get the win, of course, because they are still a long way from the title in the...
4 moments away from kickoff, and with Kai and let's head on to Aguilas. Kaishu Yamazaki said goodbye to Kai FC. Tapos bigla bumalik.
With his teammates.
They take it, but wide here.
And it is one of the reasons why they have this opportunity.
Game, Rami Jaridi put up a clinic. Here's a look.
Now we see
Here and there. That's why it's an entertaining season as this shot is saved by Cortez. Lost it. Diano getting it. Diano, low cross. And cleared off by the back line. Kaya were on the attack versus Army, wherein they won 12-0. Chance again now. Bodies in the box calling for it, but this is skied back home.
but it's a matter of really linking up, being there.
Here's the chance now inside. Is there an angle? They lay it off.
When those moments come, you have to be there, but as a center back, you have to mark.
Here's the foot race now, cutting it back. Kenny shoots. Not denied by the keeper. He's to shoot, but there was the stop. Oh, but this one, much here. Set.
Yeah.
Not good here if Nawala Maricha is in or is injured. Hancock, Amita. No one to support on that side though. And not. Here's the corner kick. And just like that, it is wide. But still a connection of sorts. Confidence to build on. Shuto Komaki. He expected better from himself when he referred to the captain. Here's the ball. Oh! Floats in! That's the opening goal here. In 5 minutes like that, Kaya FC get it. The defending champs officially take the driver's seat because they have the goal or a goal to show for it.
He is on the left wing, and he is a player that's been tricky, also a product of the FEU program.
Here's a run in the far side, interesting, or the near side. Still not out of the clear.
Urgency there, getting the ball, playing it.
Hancock's header. Mycott thought about making a run, but received it here in front of the back line. Kenshiro Daniels. It's gotten a bit quiet here. The shot, though, is
behind the ball there.
Here's Osvaldo. Cortez read it. They want to end this as soon as possible. If they're Aguilas, they want all the time in the world.
One team in the title fight, the other in the middle. At the end of the day, they need to grab the W to ensure that sailing is much smoother heading on to the third round. A big thank you for joining us for Philippines Football League 2025-26 action right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, match number 105. Glad to have you with us as always on the PFL social media pages. And alongside Glenn Casas, this is Claro Manzano. We'll be bringing the commentary for this game. And summer is here without a doubt when you take a look at the weather. But regardless, Glenn, the stage is set for this one, as we are aware. And when they did square off, it was very early in the season. And here we are at the tail end now. And the season just went by quickly. And we have the pecking order right here.
Yeah, and so far, you're kind of expecting that Kaya would be in the driver's seat of the league, given how they had a strong start to the season, but they have found themselves struggling in the middle of it all. But they still aren't very far. Well, they are a bit distant, but they are not completely out yet. Whereas Aguilas, UMAK, they are a little bit trailing, a little bit lagging. They could have themselves a bit of a fight with Maharlika FC for qualification through the upper half of this league. So far, it's going to be an interesting one. Kasi ayaw magpabitaw ng dalawang to.
And we are looking at that previous meeting, which we were already referencing earlier. And this was a baptism of fire to the Aguilas because they changed management, they rebranded. So bago lahat ng mga player halos, save for Anton Ganas, who was not in the squad yet, as we know, because he was still unavailable due to personal matters. And it ended 1-0, Glenn, and it was Kaya controlling the game, Aguilas hanging on, but at the end of the day, it was the defending champs who got the W right here.
And again, this was the one that really started it off for Kaya to get their season underway. And it was the key to them to have a really strong opening start of this season. Pero yun nga, as it boils down, as it went throughout the season, yung ruta na pinagdaanan, both of these teams have quite a different route and getting to this point here.
And it was actually Mike Ott who scored the lone goal in this game. 1-0. That goal came 6 minutes into the second half. And that was a clean sheet for defenders Marco Casambre and the likes of Mar Diano and Odi Menzi. But this was an Aguilas crew that was tested. No shame in losing 1-0, of course, to Powerhouse Kaya and the defending champs. But this game had the intensity from the get-go. And you like that. Hindi sila nag-warm up. Walang, huy, first game lang ito. Let's take it easy. Let's get a feel for things. They just hit the gas.
And so far, the stakes are quite different here as well. This is the part where they were still getting footing, so that means everybody had room to get themselves used to it. They have to go full sprint at the very start to make sure they give each other the respect they deserve. But at the same time, yung in the back of your head, the mentality is different from back then to right now.
Because there's that extra sense of urgency now where if whoever drops points, they're going to regret it in the coming weeks. As we wrapped up the highlights right there, Kaya did win 1-0 over Aguilas. That game was last September 13, 2025, right here at the same venue. So it's Kaya number 4 and Aguilas who are in the middle of that fight again to make it to the championship round. There's Stallion, Aguilas, and Maharlika who are actually figuring in that one. So, with that, let's zoom in now on our teams competing on this fine evening. And we have Aguilas UMAK FC. They are playing Kaya. And from that game of theirs, or that first round encounter, they are facing Kaya now. Two head coaches later also. They had the revolving door when the personnel, they were able to get their bearings because it's Coach Bing Colina now in charge. Here's the catch, Glenn. Si Coach Bing yung assistant coach ng Kaya in the first half of the season.
Well, and with that kind of build up to this, there has to be some sort of, I understand how each other would think, how they would work, how they operate, and this does kind of put things in perspective. Nga hindi ito yung magiging katulad ng first match.
And with that, of course, with the two teams that we're talking about also, it's cold versus cold because their form hasn't been so good as of late. But first and foremost, we are going to break down the starting lineup right here of Coach Ben Colina in a 4-3-3. And Temoshi Shiraoka, as expected, will be there to man the posts. And you have Tom Unsworth and Brian Palpalatok, your usual faces at the back. And they have the homegrown local defensive cornerstone in Dodong Villarreal.
Some changes as well dun sa harapan nila. I think they really wanted to not only stick to the principle na pinagdadaan, kasi 4-3-3, it's still the same one na nilaro nila previously, kung saan na this is the same kind of formation that they kind of almost edged but didn't successfully do so against Maharlika, and now they are running the 4-3-3 again with some changes to the tip of their spear, particularly this time around nasa harapan nila si number 19 Adamu.
And Aguilas actually did pretty much change half of its team roughly in the transfer window as compared to Kaya, who are more intact. So there's still those changes, of course, pero nandun pa rin yung core for the Aguilas. Hence, we have the expectations or benchmark set already from that previous game of theirs, or that previous round encounter. And when it comes to players to look out for, we are going to highlight the homegrown Jacob Peña. He spent his formative days with De La Salle Zobel, and when you also take a look at his records, he did get overseas experience in Canada and is also a former U23-22 national team player for the Philippines. Big responsibility. He is going to be playing in central midfield.
Well, ito yung parang one of two routes in how you can progress as a Filipino footballer. One with the routes through the elite systems, through the good elite schooling, the education, and the experience that comes with it. And this is quite interesting to see.
And with that, of course, we are going to take it to our coach interview for Aguilas UMAK FC.
The team prepared well for this week. I know Kaya is a very strong team, but we try our best to win against this match. Kaya is like they're defending champions, so we have to work as hard as we can.
All respect given and shown from Coach Bing Colina, given that he is playing against Kaya team is very well familiar with. And Aguilas UMAK done and dusted. We are going to head over to Kaya FC Iloilo, the defending champions. And as we've said, it's cold versus cold because things haven't been great for Aguilas. Things haven't been great for Kaya. But there's light at the end of the tunnel because after going winless, which is 2 draws and 2 losses, Kaya did get to defeat Army 4-0. So you're hoping, of course, na mawawala na o wala ng winless run.
Well, springboard, yeah. Usually when you have been on a losing streak, you would want the first win to be your springboard to the next successive win as well. And that's exactly what Kaya is bringing right now, as opposed to what's on the opposite side. They have lesser losses, but at the same time, they have lesser wins. So this puts them right in an undesirable spot.
Well, actually, with Kaya, as we have a look at their starting 11, they still need wins because they want to catch up to the teams on top of the standings, which is still hard to say because, or nasanay ako yung Kaya, of course, up there. But it is a 4-3-3. There's Patrick Dato, who will be a goalkeeper, and Pati Maluman Soko to man the back along with Ori Menzi, and Martini Ray will be playing up front. Shuto Komaki continues to just nab a starting spot in his return. Tandaan nga natin, he missed much of the first 2 rounds due to injury. Great to have him back continuously, of course. Tandaan nga natin actually, Chuto did get injured against Aguilas, unfortunately, in the first round. But it's good to see him on the mend.
And at the same time, yung changes dito, this is pretty much the same, virtually the same, except for 2 changes here for Kaya FC. Because they know that this is the form that has brought them that first victory in the last 5. And hopefully, this is the one that would stick. And they are kind of sticking to where their strengths are. They want to keep the push. They want to put people in the right places. And hopefully, when the timing comes right, somebody could snatch a goal.
That sounds like the Coach Yoshida system, tried and tested. They are all familiar with that, of course. So we are going to head over to our player to watch for Kaya FC. Kung may Jacob Peña sa Aguilas, let's go with a Filipino also for Kaya FC. And Martini Ray, midfielder talaga siya, but he is going to be playing up front. You could expect him to be that false 9 based on his track record. He's from Barotac, Nuevo Iloilo, went through the FEU system. Malamang champion din siya sa collegiate round. He's been with Kaya for about 3 seasons already, and no surprise, he is cemented right here in this team.
And another, yun nga, sabi ko, one of the 2 routes. This is the second route where a Filipino footballer can come into. It's purely through the local system, domestic, through the ranks it raised. And yun yung interesting here.
And we are going to take this to our coach interview for Kaya FC.
Yes, actually we have a tight schedule for this week, but yes, players' motivation is very high, so I can expect good game for us today.
And there you go. The stage is set for the Aguilas and Kaya to square off, as we are going to take you to the pitch in a bit for our pre-match ceremonies.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Aguilas UMAK FC and Kaya FC Iloilo.
Let's take a look once more at your starting 11 of Coach Bing Colina and Aguilas UMAK. And we were emphasizing, Glenn, parehas naka 4-3-3 dito.
Yeah, and there could be some slight variations as to how they make effect of it. Kasi right now, they are a little bit emphasized on the midfield when it comes to Aguilas. And Kaya is a little bit emphasized on the wings and on the attacking point. So, merong konting variation yan pagdating dyan.
At the end of the day, of course, it's all about who wants it more and who outduels the other on the pitch. Done and dusted initially with the Aguilas. We will get over to Kaya FC in a bit. All smiles and the optimism in the air, in tune to the Philippines Football League anthem, as our players and officials made it to the pitch earlier. And let's get to our match official. Si Samuel Mendoza ay ang referee natin ngayon at ang kanyang assistants ay sila Chris Mark Nanyola and Relly Palila. Si Chris Mel Cayabyab ay ang fourth official. Si Mr. Alan Martinez ay ang ating referee assessor, and our match commissioner is Miss Paula Carmina Cervantes. I am letting the tension in the air doing the talking, Glenn, because this is virtually like a playoff game with the high stakes. And here's the starting lineup of KFC and Coach Yu Hoshide.
And again, emphasis on people who are able to take opportunities at the right spots. It's more of putting, parang lalagyan mo ng konting overload in the right areas, and hopefully they can break the defense of Davao Aguilas in this evening.
A notable absence, you do not have a Marco Casambre for Kaya. He is listed as not playing. Sherwin Basintan and also listed as not eligible. But what we know, I've been saying it like a broken record. And let's see again who will be able to change up this game later on. Maybe you could expect Ray Bukit and Paulo Bugas to be those game changers, as we are going to have a moment of silence right here at center pitch. We are having a moment of silence for the late owner of LBC,
Ladies
and
and
matriarch,
may I request everyone
Miss
to please rise.
Connie Gonzalez
Before we begin
Araneta.
today's match, we take a moment to honor and remember the life of Connie Gonzalez Araneta, who has recently passed. Football is more than just a game. It is a community, a family. Today we stand united in respect, gratitude, and remembrance. We invite you all to observe a moment of silence. Thank you.
There you go. We just had a moment of silence for LBC matriarch Connie Gonzalez Araneta. It's fantastic, of course, that the football community is able to honor, celebrate, and respect the life of Mrs. Araneta. And of course, the contributions that she played a part of for Philippine football. Now, we will get to it now. We are going to kick off this game in a bit. It's the Aguilas who will be playing from left to right. They are in blue and red. KFC, the defending champs, in yellow and white. It's about starting strong in a high-stakes game like this. Yeah, the intention from the Aguilas to play this long quickly. And with that, Glenn, they're forcing a Kaya throw in from deep.
Real early intentions coming from them, but of course, medyo konting kamayan pa lang yan from the very start.
There's been the trend as of late in football. You'd see a team play it long from the get-go, or even kick it outside to put pressure on the team who started the game without possession, just in hopes of getting the numbers forward.
But you know, we've also seen a lot of iconic games in which a goal has been scored in the first minute kasi nga hindi pa handa yung kabila.
Sometimes there's that feeling outstage, okay, let's take it one pass at a time. But there are other times also, let's just go for it, walang warm-up. And someone leads, and in times where they end up scoring what becomes the fastest goal of the season. Cartalarok, Peña will drive it in. It's eventually outside here. Couldn't get this on target, nor a connection.
Yeah, I think Peña wanted to take that on his own there with a shot, but got the contact on the ball wrong, and it kind of sent it a little bit awkward to the side.
Kaya will bring this one up slowly but surely. Alumanzoko did beef up that roster again of Kaya. They took the PFL scene, you could argue, with a massive wave. But after, you saw Kaya fizzle out again after that transfer window, which we were talking about. Cleared out here. We have Julius Mirbach, who's playing on the right wing, tandaan nyo, and then Martini Ray up front. Shuto Komaki. Not happy with that one. He wanted better execution and connection on their end.
I think that was a good opportunity for them to keep applying the pressure early on, and poor passing there.
Malumanzoko. Slide it over. Menzi. Oh, he got to thread the needle. Martini knocked it to the right. Some pulling on the shirt also earlier. Kalukaran. That ball ended up with Yamazaki though. Meliza. Chaos in the middle. That appeared to be a heavy fall for David Coombe, but he is A-okay.
And again, those were two defenders marking David Coombe at the time. Sabay pa yung tackle na yun to just get that ball out of his feet.
Now it will be the Aguilas to slow this one down. No surprise, you have Shiraoka all the way up with his ability to just drive the ball forward. Also confident with his feet. Streets will never forget, Glenn. He's the first goalkeeper to score in the PFL.
This season, I remembered.
Kaya sabi nga natin, Streets will never forget. Menzi to Malumanzoko. There's pressure being piled up by Coombe. It's Coombe with the armband. Yamazaki. When they brought back Kaishu Yamazaki, he was playing in that center back role. He does know how to play that role, of course. But when they were able to get the likes of Malumanzoko, they moved him back to where he just does oh so well for Kaya. And that's at holding midfielder, being that withdrawn playmaker.
And at the same time, he's a very good ball winner in that area right there. So when he dominates that area, takes it back, and does a little bit of distribution himself after winning that ball, it kind of helps with the turnover in possession really quickly.
It's that hybrid stopper with the 6, of course. All part of modern day football. Throw-in was taken. They couldn't quite get it to Martini Ray, kaya na kay Shiraoka. Todong Villarreal. Playing alongside Villarreal is Unsworth again, who is English. Malumanzoko was able to get into the path here of Peña. Peña did say sorry, as we could see from their hand signals or body language. Maybe with the accidental swing of an arm, I'm just assuming. But there was a foul right here in the midfield. That is why it will resume with this Villarreal free kick at the half line.
Ang kalmado ni Aguilas at the moment. They are really not as committed to putting people forward in the very early stages of the game. But again, this is just the opening salvos.
But when you're playing against Kaya, the question is, can you avoid putting a foot wrong? Or when will you put a foot wrong? Because that is when they are going to pounce. Dodong couldn't get it here, but somehow just got it to the side. They'll need Palpalatok to bail them out.
Shuto Komaki was really close to just winning the ball in a critical spot.
Jan Meliza almost got to do that also here. Tete was able to retreat, but they gave it away cheaply. Mirbach Low cross. And it's Shiraoka doing Shiraoka things.
And again, that pass to Martini Ray was almost just inviting to take that shot. Let's have a look at that replay here. The movement coming from Kaya after a quick recovery. Murbach looking up and unable to stop him was Unsworth.
Pero medyo nagugulat ako rito, Glenn. Ang layo pa ng Pasko. Aguilas giving gifts away to Kaya here.
But of course, it still has to be Kaya that has to take it.
Ang problema, hindi nag-thank you yung Kaya. But they still have a corner kick in this instance and they can continue to mount the pressure. Melissa with the service. Off the head of Tete. Shuto. Inviting Kum to dance. Melissa. They have targets inside. Maluman Zoko also up. Shiraoka once more. As Palpalatok sending it to his fellow fullback. Pero ang dahilan, because they're a bit disorganized because they're coming off a corner. Well, how often do you see your fullbacks connect with one another? That's over to the right now. Cart definitely off target here. Some energy being injected into this game, Glenn. You have the loyal fans of Aguilas bringing out that drum and their voices.
Which is quite a different thing, because in the previous seasons it was the Kaya fans who used to do that.
Collision between Maluman Zoko and Kum. That is steamroller versus steamroller.
Both very physical players.
Who wins in a situation like that? Of course, that's like fighting fire with fire.
Well, Maluman Zoko does look like he has the physical advantage here. Much bulkier than Kum for sure.
Dato. Over to Maluman Zoko. Long ball over the top. Palpalato got his boot to it. He's been getting the stops right here for the Aguilas. He's been that ball winner of theirs.
And then this favorite right side for Aguilas to just get that ball driven into the box.
That was a lovely switch earlier from Cartalarok, but Mardiano was able to clean up at that right back role of Kaya. Just when he thought Diallo was going to win this, there's a foul against him. Here's a look at Coach Yu Hoshide. It's an unfamiliar spot again for Kaya because they're not the ones dictating pace in the title race. They're playing catch-up, but they are comfortably inside the championship round, as we've mentioned. Pero as we know, Glenn, results carry over, so they need to get this win so they could stay close to league leaders Wantagig and company.
And it's gonna be a difficult climb for them if they still want to make something out of this season, for sure.
As Noni Arboleda's connection with Shuto Komaki was offline, he will look to fine-tune that. He sends his apologies to the bench. I play this one short. You see the intent right here. It's with Cart. He'll play it long. The captain to chase. Maluman Zoko. This is a test to his ability with the ball.
And he is a very quick player, Maluman Zoko, in reaction time, plus that physique that he carries. He's a you're gonna think twice about exchanging blows with him.
Noni Arboleda to take this throw in. Just 11 minutes in. But as expected, they're taking the conventional route here of playing that chess match in the early stages of the game. There was a hit in the midfield as they were passing that ball back. Eric Esso being not so silent there. We do know he is that glue guy in the midfield. You couldn't miss the contact there with Tete. That's to Tom Unsworth. It is his first stint overseas by playing right here in the Philippines. When you look at his experience, it's all back home in England. Wide with Talarok. Palpalatok sends the cross in. This one is skied though. But it is a corner kick right here. I had a feeling that it actually came off a player in yellow.
And Goom was really quick to the task there. He was expecting that delivery right there. You were thinking that it was just going to be a tap in, but again, he was being hounded by the defense.
That's why it's a corner right here for Cart. They have runners to go for the posts. Off the head of Malo Mansoko in that instance, as it takes a bounce that is eventually out.
Parang so far, Kaya has been playing the pace that Aguilas wants them to do so. Although they have been a little bit scary when they get to critical spots in front, it's Aguilas that seem to have a lot more control.
And that seemed like a duty foul from Brian Palpalato, pulling the shirt of Shuto Komaki, acknowledging it. Tapos nag-sorry, but he does have a warning already from referee Samuel Mendoza. In that instance, a duty foul just to stop Shuto from breaking free on that wing. And the connection is to no avail here for the defending champs.
Well, so far, Ray has just been their target man up front, and it's quite difficult to really get the ball to him, unlike the first opportunity that they have. Right now, Aguilas is watching the trajectory of that ball. They are expecting that delivery to go that way.
Arboleda. It's Kaya gunning for their fourth straight title. But it's a tough uphill climb. Here's the connection. Tete will up to drive traffic. Ran into Yamazaki. Talarok. It's been the wings that have been working for Aguilas in this young game. Villarreal will get it to Unsworth. Sa kabila naman, JV Kalukaran. We actually have two UAAP high school coaches who are here in this game. You have JV Kalukaran, who plays for the Aguilas. You have Paulo Bugas for Kaya. Kalukaran coaching Southridge. Paulo Bugas coaching FEUD, his alma mater. Paulo Bugas did win the chip with them, of course. So congratulations to Coach Paulo and the baby Tamaraos. They are assistant coaches, so with them being pro players, they're accelerating the growth of some of the young players who are up and coming dito sa Pilipinas.
And in a way, it does kind of show that now there is a trajectory, a route to go full pro with your career.
Shuto's cross is intercepted though by his compatriot in Shiraoka. Compatriot because the two of them are from Japan.
Medyo hindi halata ba?
Well, tandaan nga natin, Glenn. We're here also to share the info with our new friends who just joined us in the Philippines Football League scene. Ito, baka hindi mo pa alam pero nasabi ko na. Si Temoshi Shiraoka at Kinji Nishioka ng Manila Digger. Yung fan favorite nila. Teammate sila Shiraoka and Nishioka before in Japan for Edo United, the team of Keisuke Honda. And source, trust me bro, hindi. Komento ni Kenji Nishioka sa akin.
I was kind of expecting if it was trust me bro. Pero we trust the source.
Oh, malamang. Galing, yung information na yun galing direct from the source na.
But it does stand as a testament to the ability of us to attract.
As there's an attacking chance, and the Aguilas slip it in. Data had the bottom corner and the near angle closed. But the Aguilas just overwhelmed Kaya with numbers. It's a perfect start for them. They will look to sustain this at the least.
And again, you can see that they have had the control of possession. They have been leading Kaya on. And let's have a look at this replay here. They have a lot of numbers. And look at that back line from Kaya. Just nowhere near it.
Let's take a look at this with our Quad Vision replay brought to you by Upstream Sports TV.
Then you can napag-iwanan ni Talaro yung dalawang nagbabantay supposedly sa area na yan. You could see the number 4, Malumansoko, and the number 22, Arboleda, just slowing down, thinking that the line would be able to cover the entry of the ball.
Isadialia put in the work. Cartalarok had the pressure on him, you could say, to just put it away calmly. You could already see the celebration from Isadialia the moment that reached the boot of Cartalarok. Credit to Isa for setting that up. You also gotta love the confidence shown from Diallo to Cartalarok.
And now it is definitely game on here. The complete reverse of the initial leg.
It was 1-0 again. Last time Kaya and the Aguilas squared off. That was very early in the season. Now we are in the end stages. The stakes are much higher. Unfortunately though for the Aguilas, they do have to chase results again. They do have to chase results because they are actually in danger of not making the top 6, the championship round.
So that is a bit of a physical, very physical there from Esso, and still giving chase as if nothing happened there.
And with that goal earlier scored by Cartalarok, that is his 3rd of the season. Isa Diallo, the leading scorer of the Aguilas, just bagged his 1st assist.
And this means that they really have to step up with the creativity.
It's another chance now. Dito did just enough to get the stop, but it's a corner once more, according to our assistant referee. But Kaya playing with fire right here.
They have just allowed him to do whatever he wants in that space. They want to get a body in the way, but they don't want to put the effort into just marking him down.
You saw that they were just able to easily drive by Diano and Menzi. Tapos sinalo na lang ni Dato, but it's a corner kick that they still have to deal with. It's an in-swinger. They went for the back. But unfortunately for the Aguilas, it's outside already, and Kaya would gladly take that. Some questions that need answering now for Kaya, and we are approximately 25% into this game. Tandaan nga natin also that Mike Ott is on the bench, often a shoe-in starter right here for Kaya. But now, they trail 1-0. Or do you bring him in as a game changer later when your opponents are tired and he's just gonna run races around everyone?
That would be the initial thought here, but we've seen this formula time and again, and the results have been mixed for Kaya so far into bringing Mike Ott at the late stage, especially because you were expecting that he would be one of the key players that would make a difference.
How massive is the ability, or how big could Mike Ott contribute to your team? He has 12 goals and 11 assists.
He has a very good vision. He is able to really put the passes in, but if you know that he's coming in and you're gonna know that you're a marked man when you come in, then that kind of diminishes the ability, so everybody else has to step up.
You have 8 goals each also for Martini Ray, who is playing up front, and for Julius Mirbach, who is playing on the right. Malumanzoko will get to Dato. Menzi able to control that. Ori gives it to Yamazaki. Malumanzoko will try to work as that playmaking center back. Shuto Komaki will try to break free. Yamazaki gives it to his compatriot. Arboleda. But there's a whistle here against Kaya.
They are leaning heavily into that left side there with Komaki, just hoping that he'd be able to find that space, but that was really unfortunate. Good for Arboleda to be there ready to receive it.
There was a foul earlier. I thought it was being whistled against Palpalatok, but they're going back to a previous play. That's how I saw things, of course. "22 minutes into this one, and Cartalarok is your goal scorer so far in this game. You got to send that ball home from Isa Diallo. Flick back by Komaki. Melisa, he has the license to roam. Tony Arboleda. Menzi. Ori will float it forward. Palpalato concedes a corner here. I think he was expecting Shiraoka to meet that, but they were not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, you can see the hands of apologies right there. Really risky move that was.
Because they gave up a corner, and it paves way to this, but it's a denial. I ran out of words there because he had countless shots taken by Kaya point blank. Somehow the Aguilas were able to build a wall at the back of the Emoshi Shiraoka.
Kaya players were contesting. They were saying that the ball's gone over the line. That was clearly a save there, but there's a follow-up trying to put it in the middle. So much confusion there. No, it really was a clean save. Nowhere near the line. Linesman was spot on that.
But back to live pictures, it's in the middle because the Aguilas got the clearance. Shots taken at point blank. You don't see opportunities like that very often.
Indeed you don't, but at the same time, if you just make yourself big enough to force the player not to just put a tap in and have to bend backwards and forwards to get that ball in a different direction, then there is a high likelihood that you're gonna make a mistake. And that's exactly what they were expecting.
And the keeper couldn't do it alone in this instance. He really got help from his defenders. Play resumed by the Aguilas. There was the diving header from Dodong Villarreal to deny Martini Ray from that attacking chance as it's sent to no man's land by JV Kalukaran. Their goal scorer again is Cartalarok so far, and he got to connect with the pass of Isa Diallo. Data will boot this long. Back from international duty, along with the likes of Daisuke Sato and Patrick Reichelt. Patrick Reichelt, though, an assistant team manager for the Philippine national team, but is still playing right here with league leaders Juan Taguig.
Very interesting mix of players here. And dito mo nakikita that the diversity, the experience that they bring in from the international scene. PFL is definitely some league to look out for, especially in the next few years to come. But right now, this year, it's the most competitive one. And Kaya is having a hard time getting it. Mirbach is a marked man there. And that was a foul.
Arboleda, they switched it over to the left. Yamazaki finds himself wide. Kaishu. Shuto. Martini. Almost to Melisa, but Pena got to poke it away. Eric Esso from distance, but it was stopped there. David Coombe just diving and putting his body on the line, and Pena will release this for them.
Kaya just don't want to let go of the pressure while they're still having the initiative here. Just put the ball forward and hoping that someone would be in the front to receive it.
Right to left traffic continues. It's deflected off a player and it will go back the way of the Aguilas. This is what we were mentioning, of course, with the Aguilas loyal supporters bringing in the energy, screaming their lungs out also, try to drumming. "27 minutes so far into this one. The score obviously favors the Aguilas, but what I'm seeing, Glenn, it's Kaya with the tempo and initiative.
Well, they have been a little bit more aggressive after conceding that first goal. But at the same time, what took you so long, right?
And Kaya paying an expensive price for a wake-up call. Sometimes you see that sense of urgency brought out by a team right after they concede, and that's obviously not the position that you want to be in. But it's a free kick for Shuto Komaki.
We've seen him deliver the ball in good spaces and good areas, so putting the ball up high for somebody to head it in, that's his likely go-to answer.
5 goals and 4 assists for Shuto in 11 games. He'll send it in. You had Malumanzoko going for it. Close but not quite.
I think the idea was there. Malumanzoko was the intended target man there, but Shuto Komaki just put it a little bit too high. Konti lang.
We are late in the second round again, as we've mentioned. And earlier, there's an 8-0 victory for Maharlika over Tuloy FC.
Correct.
We mentioned this because Maharlika are now tied with the Aguilas in the standings. Pressure is on the Aguilas to win this game so they could maintain that 3-point advantage. Yamazaki trying to slice through the defense. So the reason why we mention this again is because you have 3 teams competing for slots 5 and 6 in the championship round. Only the top 6 will make it to that aforementioned round. After we separate the top 6 and the bottom half, they will figure in their own round robin. So with the 6 teams, we get to play each other once.
And that's where the motivation from Aguilas is coming from, because right now they are just at the cusp of being dropped if they don't get full points tonight. And Kaya, on the other hand, regardless of the outcome for this evening, all that's happening here is it's very unlikely for Aguilas to catch them up on points.
Off they go on the counter. Yalio, our player with the assist this evening, slowed it down. Kum. You do recall, Kum played striker against Kaya in that opening game of theirs because they were short on attacking players. They will cycle it at the back. And going back, as much as pasok na yung Kaya in the championship round, they want to get the 3 points. But we'll pause that conversation first. Martini. Eso hits the cross. Bar. Contested non-call. And next thing you know, naka-fiesta yung dalawa. Going 2-on-1 right here against Villarreal. Eso hitting the crossbar.
Eso just thought that he didn't have enough time. There was a defender really close to him from behind, and he wanted to just pull the trigger as fast as possible, not really able to make sure that he has full control of the ball. Hence, that volley was poorly touched.
Even if we are here in the grandstand, ramdam ko yun sa crossbar. But going back again with what we were saying, pasok na yung Kaya in the championship round. But results carry over. That is why they want to get the win here, so they could play catch-up in the standings again. Boom, the captain down. Cartalarok takes a number of touches inside. Got to get it the other way. Diallo will shoot, doesn't score. Follow-up was definitely off target right here for Tete.
And Tete had the chance to just put an insurance goal, some daylight between the two teams. That was a really snappy attack coming from Aguilas, quickly shifting and almost catching Kaya off guard and off position here. The defense was scrambling.
It would have been a nightmare scenario for Kaya if it became 2-0 at the 32nd minute.
It just seems that after the results that Kaya had with one Taguig, they've never really regained true focus here. That regardless, let's say that the results would still change, it really hasn't been the same defending champion since that game.
And so we were mentioning this is a challenge for them if they want to make it 4 straight championships, or a 4-peat, as they say. What if the holding earlier between Peña and Melisa? Is this confirmed as a throw-in, or was Peña able to get this out in time? I think it is the latter. And you love the hustle in a situation like that. Nakabawi siya from that miscue earlier of theirs. Komaki just got it to Talarok. In contrast, Yamazaki took his shot that was denied. Alumanzoko. You see the back line also of Kaya past the half line now. You see their attacking intent. Kalukaran got the stop there. The Yamazaki ball was intended for Mirbach.
And right now, Kaya just randomly randomly doing passes here. They can't find someone up front right now.
This has a similar flow to that previous encounter of the two teams, because you'll see the Aguilas pounce on the counter. See Kaya dictating play. Not a carbon copy though, because you see much more build-up from the Aguilas. As Peña will spray this wide. It was definitely overhit. Let's look at the calendar for our teams right here. We are talking about remaining matches in the second round. Of course, we can only confirm matches in the championship round and the consolation round upon finalization of results. But it is another opportunity for Iloilo. Well, let's get to it with the remaining fixtures right here in the second round. You have Valenzuela, PB, Menjola remaining for Kaya. Aguilas will have to play a one Taguig next. If you want to oversimplify things, you want maximum points from your remaining games, or you are going to make life difficult for yourself. If you're Kaya, trying to chase the title. If you're the Aguilas, just trying to get into the championship round. Pero malaking bagay yan, Glenn, to make it to the top 6, because if you do, at least guaranteed top 6 ka na. Because from my understanding, the teams in the consolation round cannot overtake teams in the upper bracket anymore. So if you're down there in the consolation round already, maximum mo 7th place. And whoever that will be, whether that be Stallion, Aguilas, or Maharlika, they are not going to be happy to be in that spot.
Although mathematically speaking, whoever gets the drop now, it's really unlikely for the remaining teams of the bottom half to catch up to who is going to drop. So in a way, that is still not a good consolation if you think about it, because that means that you had the ability to make it top 6 and narrowly missed it by much. And Aguilas now.
It's Cart to send it to the middle. A touch outside the box. And the shot right here of the skipper Coombe came off a defender.
And they were just ready for that. They were waiting for that chance to send Palpalato forward. And the wings, the speed, Koom was just there.
Because going back to what we were saying, if you're the team who gets eliminated in that top 6 race, you're going to be disappointed to be down in that consolation round. Just to conclude things, as it's sent in by Cart. It was off the head of Diano. Eric Kessel sent it to the midfield. Palpalato got to chest it and send it their attacking way. Unsworth. Let's see how both teams will organize coming out of this one. They're able to do so nonetheless, with the ball getting some time in the midfield. Yamazaki. Malumanzoko. Arboleda. Komaki. Unfortunately, he was not able to play in any of the 6 group stage matches of Kaya in the Champions League 2.
I believe that was what you mentioned because of injury, correct?
Yes. Kalukaran has been able to shut down Julius Mirbach so far in this game, as we are 38 minutes in. It's Cartaladok now. He will retreat. Tete. I will also say, Glenn, bago makalimutan ko, syempre, there is actually a chance that we could have a tie for 6th place, particularly with the Aguilas and Maharlika. But sakali may tie tayo sa points, goal difference will be the next tiebreaker, as Kaya FC gives up a free kick. It'll be the Aguilas to take it from their left wing. But going back again, there's a chance actually that the Aguilas and Maharlika will be tied after the 2nd round. If that happens, goal difference will be the basis to break that tie. And so far, it's plus 19 for the Aguilas. Plus 14 for Maharlika.
Yeah.
I'm still not counting this result yet in this instance. Maharlika were able to do some catching up in terms of goal difference because they dispatched Tuloy 8-0 earlier. And this ball into the 6-yard box of Dato was easily met. Komaki got past Palpalato. Martini versus Peña. Those are our highlight players. Shuto. Villarreal got into the path of that ball somehow as Tete sends it out for a corner kick.
Martini Ray had a chance to just do it himself, but he wanted to be doubly sure that whoever would take the shot would have a better chance. But right now, that pass, he was not aware of the defender chasing him. The best decision should have been that he should have taken it himself.
That's the false 9 or the midfielder in Martini Ray that you see. So in this instance, is it a matter where he should have been selfish? They sent this one in off of Mirbach. Cleared off by the defense. And Esso's early cross was definitely outward bound.
Now, this is, Claro, where it really gets costly if you're the type of team who loves to wait for something to happen before making that something happen. And there has been some you can say, talks about Kaya's tendency to stick around, hang in, and either if they get the goal early, they just hang tight. And in this case, they were waiting for an opportunity for Aguilas to make a mistake. But in the end, it was them who did so.
Peña getting tangled up with Yamazaki. And it's back-to-back fouls in the midfield here. Kaya with another chance to send the ball forward. Bakum is furious as we have our first booking of the evening. It's against Tete.
Really physical for his stature, that player.
4 minutes in stoppage time remaining right here in the first half. And we've seen a lot of great football in this one.
And so far, Aguilas, despite not controlling the ball or not being shown the ball as much, whenever they do have it, it seems that they are really threatening.
They will look to bank on some Jan Meliza magic. Manzoko was contained. And now it's a foul against Kaya, perhaps being too over-eager. Let's talk about the forms again here. We did mention it was cold versus cold. Both teams as of late not essentially doing well. The Aguilas are coming off a 3-game skid where that's 3 losses game. And Maharlika. And that loss versus Maharlika is what puts them in a tough spot in that top 6 race again.
True.
Sa Kaya naman, they had 4 games where they were winless. Back-to-back losses. There's a loss to Antaguig Digger. And then there's the draws versus Stallion and Cebu. As Yamazaki was able to impede Cartalarok, but it is going to be a throw-in here for the Aguilas in blue and red.
And you know, interestingly enough, in the back-to-back draw that they had from Stallion and Cebu, Kaya scored first and conceded late.
Closing in on additional time also in this first half. It will remain right here with the Aguilas. Palpalatok is setting this up as a long throw from the looks of it. Sends it in. Chested. Eso got to send it out of the goalkeeper box. Tumalsik ng konti si Jan Meliza. Villarreal did well to control, and he'll get it to Unsworth. Plenty of doubts with the way personnel shifted for the Aguilas in that transfer window earlier in this year. But Unsworth is that boost for them at the back. But they need some help in defense in this instance. Komaki stepped on the brakes, and somehow there's the stop. Dodong Villarreal came out of nowhere, just got his boot to it. And I believe that was Tete at the back who was also filling in here.
And you thought Shuto Komaki was away, and I think he was just trying to get another pass in. And I think that's one of the flavors that Kaya has been right now. They've had so many opportunities to be in a shooting spot, but they wanted to do one more extra pass. And it's that one final pass that gets intercepted.
So are you saying they're too unselfish in this instance?
Well, that could be the case, or confidence perhaps to take it first time.
Kalukaran did get tangled up, or did take a fall after bumping with Mirbach. 3 minutes of stoppage time as confirmed by our fourth official, Crispin Kayabyab.
Of 3 minutes of additional time.
And that is correct. You are hearing chants of defense from the Aguilas fans. Corners here and there for Kaya also. Will they get that lifeline? Will they get the breakthrough in this game? Shuto gives the outswinger off of Martini. And it is a corner on the other side, as confirmed by referee Samuel Mendoza. Taken quickly by Mirbach. Got the return ball. Just gifted it away to Palpalatok, who was also been on his A game. It's a foot race just like that.
Yamazaki, just being the natural center back that he was, still has the edge in defense.
But that run of Ibrahim Adamu signing up for track and field. It's another chance. Can they get it to Martini in the middle? But Arboledo will shoot, but definitely does not frame it. Tension on the Kaya side of the grandstand. Frustration also with the way that they have been bombarding Aguilas UMAK.
And again, Aguilas were doing everything right. It is a very difficult pass to block that one, but then that leg up to just deny that shot.
Mardiano getting that ball into a scoring opportunity in all his might. You could see the frustration from him because he was at the track oval already when that shot was off target. Noni Arboleda. It's a rare instance Yamazaki and Melisa are not on the same wavelength. I believe they wanted a foul though in that instance. They'll try to take on Diano. Adamo was pushing the back line down. Ori Menzi had to dribble his way out. It will remain with them. We are nearing the 3 allocated minutes already.
And you can see how determined the Aguilas attacking front is to recover that ball early on, forcing Kaya to make a mistake, hopefully. And so far, it has been making life difficult for them.
Can they connect on this long ball and shoot the Komaki? His effort is offline. Not sure if he wanted to play that to the onrushing Martini because Shuto was surrounded by Villarreal and Palpalatok.
And again, that was him in a bit of doubt of himself.
Applause from the Aguila side of the grandstand and silence on the Kaya half. It is halftime right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. 1-0 is the score. Cartalarok is your lone goal scorer in this match so far. He got to connect with Isa Diallo to book that goal. Diallo, of course, with the assist. Continue to stay with us, of course, because we'll be back in a bit for your highlights and statistics. back at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, and we are currently at the half in your matchup between Aguilas UMAK and Kaya FC Iloilo. And Kart Talarok is your lone goal scorer in this warm summer evening so far. And you have to credit Isa Diallo for the assist. And it wasn't all Aguilas in this game, Glenn. There was definitely plenty of Kaya, but unfortunately, they weren't able to put their chances, and there was some superhuman defending, you will also say, for the Aguilas in this game so far. Here's a look at that goal that we were mentioning also. But that's essentially been the ebb and flow in this game.
Yeah, and again, look at how the positioning of the defenders were in that defense. Plus, the keeper, Data, was nowhere near where he could just make a decent jump. I think he was kind of expecting that he was going to get to it from that angle.
The defense also there just gave that opportunity, you could somewhat argue. Let's remember that Eric Kesso also rattled the crossbar. We had spells here and there. There were a number of instances also, not just one incident or instance, where the Aguilas actually were making stops at the goal line here and there. And Kaya were taking their shots from point blank. This was a lovely opportunity that was created by Amar Diano. And Martini Ray in that instance, or sorry, check that, Noni Arboleda missed that as he had Martini Ray also who was there in the middle. As we have a look at the stats right here, can you run us through things here, Glenn?
Well, kind of as expected, you were thinking that Kaya would have the lion's share of possession here, but so far the numbers aren't really reflecting the actual score in this game. They've had better possession, better shots, and so far it's actually quality versus quantity here. And Aguilas isn't that far behind as well, but they were the ones who made it count. Looking at the fouls, though, how physical this game has been for both of these teams.
15 total in the first 45 alone. We are on course to finish with 30, which is quite a figure already. I will say, from my observations with the game as a whole. With possession, you were saying that it's more for Kaya. It's 51-49, but I think what you're referring to was that they have more quality where they're able to move forward. You see the Aguilas mainly in the midfield, mainly at the back, but not that we're taking anything away from Aguilas UMAK because they're able to get it forward quickly in that instance. Hence, they had a number of chances. Kaya 1-0 ang score ngayon.
Pero again, it's really about Aguilas just taking advantage of those little wins that they have when they get the ball and they do eventually move it forward. Yeah, you're right. When it comes to getting the numbers in, pushing people forward, Kaya has been doing more of that in their run of possession. But it's Aguilas who's always been in the right spaces, right moment. And when they do have that ball and they try to thread it through, dun yung parang may konting ka baka makaramdaman, especially if you're a Kaya fan, that you'd feel that this could as easily go in as the first goal.
There are actually ace players who are also on the bench. We pointed out there's a Maikot on the bench for Kaya. There's also team captain Nano Amita on the bench for the Aguilas. The thing here I also notice is you see the Aguilas playing with that sense of urgency. I mentioned that because I saw a similar sense of urgency from Maharlika when they played against Tuloy. It's these situations where you desperately and absolutely need the result. Hence, you're able to give your 125%. And I think that's what we are seeing right here from the Aguilas, because we did mention delikado sila sa standings because they have a tough road ahead, and if things don't go their way, they're gonna finish below number 6 and they won't be in the championship round. And as this second half was already kicked off.
And again, whoever ends up in that unfortunate 7th place will really hate themselves.
Here we go. Alu Manzoko was under tons of pressure and even fell in the process. Quite a way to start the second half right here. And it's the Aguilas starting strong and with a bang.
And with the intention as well.
You see here, though, with the Aguilas, they are in a 4-4-2. Let's see if that evolves into a 4-3-3 on the attack, or are they shifting to a traditional formation? Asciutto hits the post right here. Nothing he could do about that because he was on the other side. He did everything right. Luck just not on his side. Maybe a centimeter or two off. But he did his job right here.
And they really tend to lean so heavily on Shuto Kamaki doing the heavy lifting. He has been doing the same in the first half. He receives the ball, he finds a way in, puts it into the box. But this time around, he finally started to take shots on his own from the distance and not really rely on getting it past turn, because hopefully someone could get on the rebound.
That's the second time that Kaya actually hit the goal frame in this game. Let's remember the effort of Eric Eso. In my mind, I was ready to count that as a goal already.
Well, so far, luck has been on the side of the Aguilas tonight.
And Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the PFL, and you are joining us on the social media pages of the Philippines Football League. It is Kaya, the defending champs, in yellow and white with their work cut out. They're playing from left to right. Aguilas UMAK FC in red and blue. They are looking to bounce in the counter now. It's Cartalarok to hit the gas. No teammates in the goalkeeper area, as his effort is definitely out and about.
Well, this is definitely a different Aguilas coming out here, having a little bit more aggression rather than care.
Because when you talk about aggression, it was mainly with Kaya, especially at the end of the first 45. They wanted to go for the same with Komaki. Aside from the shot that Komaki took, Palpalato has been able to shut him down. You can also say similar to JV Kalukaran and Julius Mirbach. And you have Martini Ray, who is lurking in the middle of Answorth and Villarreal.
Being sandwiched, what's happening to Ray right now, because they know that they just need to ensure that whenever he gets the ball, he doesn't get a decent shot in.
Palpalato to Peña. Martini trying to back down Villarreal. Dodong showing him a lot of love. Another player down though for Kaya. This is a separate incident, I reckon.
And still, the physicality has continued with this game. Number of fouls already, I think, is 2 or 3.
I did mention, and we pointed out, you mentioned, of course, with the numbers, sorry. 15 combined from our two teams in the first half. It's Vidiano, took a touch. And I believe he wanted to cross that in, but it was stopped. Diallo, who has an assist this evening, did get to intercept.
And really quick on that too. He knows that if the delivery comes in, there is a half-decent chance that somebody could try to put it in towards goal.
It's Meliza. He'll drive it in. Not the best of deliveries. And now it is Dodong Villarreal who is fouled this time around. I reckon they're just repaying the favor in that instance, because Villarreal did commit that foul earlier on the other side. Tandaan nga natin. With our two keepers actually competing, Shiraoka and Dato have 2 each so far in this season. They would have loved to be in the upper section, of course, of our goalkeeper clean sheet tally, because in that category you have Milos Chupic of Wantagig, who has 11, You have Rami Jaridi who has 6. You still have Freddy Cortez of Kaya, but he did depart the team already. As much as he's inactive, he's still in joint second place with 6 clean sheets. And you have Omar NG of Manila Digger right below with 5.
And I think that is kind of telling as to what's really missing from Kaya right now. Somebody to perhaps get the defense.
Here's Eric Esso. Just got it back, but Dato's clearance came off a man. Yano got to collect. He thought, well, we knew that Esso had that clearly already. But that hustle of the Aguilas continuing. That would have been disaster if that ball ricocheted or deflected another direction when you refer to Data's clearance. But thankfully, it had enough height and power.
And that's what you could consider a really shaky clearance there. And again, it's medyo nagblanko na yung utak mo. The instinct, the reflex would just say, I want to get this ball as far away as possible here. So sometimes you don't really take into account who's next to you.
Our play is stopped again because we have a player down for the defending champs. It is Malumanzoko. And that is the reason why you had Esso earlier, just hustling his heart out to get that ball back to his keeper for the stop.
Yeah, Malumanzoko has started to venture out a little bit forward, further from his usual center-back role. And we've seen him as a holding midfielder as well in the previous games too. So he does have that ability to really put some decent passes in and even have the ability to drive the ball into the box himself.
But still, up until now, it stands. It's Kaya who need to provide answers to those questions. They have Mike Ott again with 12 goals and 11 assists in this season so far. That's through 18 games. He's on the bench. You have Jovin Bidic. As much as he does not have the numbers, but he brings in that veteran experience. He's also an option for Coach Yoshida to be a game changer.
We've seen it before.
And let's also mention it while we're at it. Shout out to Walid Mr. Clean Biru, one of Kaya's goalkeepers years back also. He is catching this game on the live stream. As there's a bit of the shove in that instance. Not enough though for a foul. Kaya were hoping to keep the pressure on. But it eventually goes out and they will yield possession to the Aguilas.
Well, so far it's has been it's as if Kaya is starting to stall a little bit with the attacks that they've had. They are appearing to mount a second coming in the second half, but so far it has been all Aguilas that's been a bit threatening.
They're back again. He's also had a difficult evening. You still classify this as an evening to forget for Shuto Komaki, because as much as he hit the back post, that was not a goal. But they still have time to chase the game and make amends. Ooh, Martini was in front of Shiraoka and Mirbach's shot came off a defender. Answorth doing everything in his might to be a second goalkeeper. As much as he cannot use his hands, of course.
I think that it bounced, Mirbach's shot bounced off of Ray for a second there.
That's right, it may have been friendly fire, but Shiraoka is down on the pitch because he did get into a collision with Martini. Martini was right in front of him. I'm surprised myself that Shiraoka was able to pull off the save somehow. Is there a shot for offside also in that instance? JV Kalukaran also putting his body on the line there until Todong Villarreal just put it to safety.
And then from that replay as well, you can see Shiraoka just stretching there, really just trying to find a way to tap that ball, send it a different direction. But it was just unfortunate he can't reach it.
Reflexes there from Shiraoka. it continues. We're continuing to see that stingy defense from the Aguilas. That's about 3 times already that they got to contain Kaya from point blank.
This has been somewhat of a recurring theme here, where Kaya manages to get shots away from near point blank range, and for either stroke of luck or just putting enough people to be in front of the goal, so far it hasn't come in, and we are still watching Kaya, the defending champions, trail against Aguilas.
You could see Data also trying to motivate his teammates. But we hope that Shiraoka is okay.
Well, while we are off action, I just want to shout out to my friend Jamer De La Cruz, who is watching with us, fellow commentator as well. Good evening, sir.
Also, good evening to the entire Philippine football community, north all the way to the south, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and also to our friends overseas. You are catching the Philippines Football League on its social media pages. We are 11 minutes into the second half, and we have a stoppage because Shiraoka did get hit earlier in a close opportunity, actually, wherein Kaya, the defending champs, almost scored. But it's still 1-0. That's the same scoreline coming out of the halftime break.
And again, Kaya has just been relentless in finding an opportunity to shoot. Shuto Komaki, right there on your screen, has had a close one too. And he has been one of them that Kaya has been relying on. You get the ball to him, he will drive it in. And unfortunate that most of the teammates that were supposed to receive his feeds are either unavailable or well marked.
Shiraoka is back on his feet and is okay to continue. A great sight, of course, for Aguilas. Any striking adjustments that you have witnessed so far in this game, or is it still the same from the first half?
Well, Kaya has tended to put more people forward now, but at the same time, that does kind of give them a little exposure at the back whenever Aguilas get the ball further. On the other side of the field, Aguilas has just gotten more aggressive, pushing up earlier now, and I think they have gotten a read of that.
Tete was holding up traffic and was trying to get up slowly but surely. But being too cautious in that instance hurt them, and they gave up possession. Yet Ibrahim Adamu was actually trying to get forward already. Arboleda and Shuto continue to struggle on the left. We've been talking about potential substitutes or game changers. We floated the name of Bidik. There's Maikot, who's on the bench. You have Lucas Del Rosario, who is in joint 8th place, actually, when it comes to playmaking or assists. He has 6 so far in this season. Is he going to be one of those options also off the bench for Coach Yoshide? And we'll find out. For the Aguilas, though, I assume they're also going to bring in firepower and maybe some defensive stability, because 1-0 score, that's not a safe lead.
Well, they do have some options as well. Talarok, Pickering, Amita. So there are a lot of cards that they are yet to play.
But here's Tete now. Buries another one to make it 2-0.
And Kaya has just been unable to stop that. Aguilas finding a way through their relentlessness.
They are celebrating this one because it's a result they desperately need. Their backs will be further against the wall if they do not back the result here. But what a through ball to set up that goal from Richard Tete. Take a look at this one with our Quad Vision replay, brought to you by Upstream Sports TV.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. You don't look for the second pass. You take it on your lonesome. And look at what it's done. Take it first time. Don't be afraid. And that is paying dividends to Aguilas.
And credit David Coombe for the vision, setting up his buddy Richard Tete for a crucial goal. And we were just talking about that scenario where Kaya trying to play catch-up and Aguilas searching for an insurance goal. And the latter just happened right here.
And the positive play coming from Aguilas has paid off immensely there. You can see that whenever they have the ball, they are unscared. They would love to put people forward. They would love to have that extra aggression. And there you see it. No holding back.
Richard Tete.
And we have activity in the technical area of the Aguilas. Mirback. It just sails over the bar though, but that was a lovely setup. That would have been a highlight goal. Here's Maikot set to check in as expected, but is it too little too late? But we still have 30 minutes and change remaining in this game.
Right now, this is one of the only other moves that Coach Yu Hashide can do. Put people there that can attract defenders, get the defenders out of shape.
Substitution for Kaya FC Iloilo.
And just going back, we were mentioning
Player number 22, Finch Johnson.
the Aguilas will mount another wave.
Player number 5,
Diallo
Rigoberto.
to Tete, their most recent goal scorer, going for glory, but it's more like a home run.
Well, it would have actually counted if it was a different kind of football.
I was making a baseball reference.
Yeah, I know. A different score, a different kind of sport.
Anyway, going back with the activity, and we witnessed in the technical area, you are expecting Pedro De Paula and Ray Bukit to enter the game. Those are midfielders in their bid, I assume, to just control the game and then ice it slowly. Ori to Mirback versus Kalukaran. Mirback did get to slip past a number of times already. Martini laid it off. Mike on instant impact though, put up the shot. And it is a corner kick.
And the versatility that you're looking for with Mike Ott, being able to take shots, put himself in good positions. I mean, that's what's lacking in the game, but I guess what they're really after is getting him at a fresher state while expecting, hopefully, that their opponents are already running out of fuel.
Sent in by Maikot. Saved again at the goal line right here. It's by Palpalatok.
And so far, the defense has stayed true, have stayed strong. And Kaya really can't find a crack in their armor here.
Mirback. It's a corner kick. He almost lost his footing, but that wouldn't have been a penalty nonetheless. Chance of defense continue right here, Glenn, from the Aguilas half, as Ott will give another corner. Ari Menzi, and this one ping-ponged around. Only goes as far as Meliza, though. He'll send it back into the attacking third. But here is a shot that was saved by Shiraoka. He's off his line, got to recover. Peña trying to get this, got tangled up with Maikot for a bit. A player down for the Aguilas. Let's see if they will pause play or if they will bring it up. They did the prior. Goal line saves continue right here.
And the amount of traffic and exchanges of that ball in front of the goal, and you still cannot take a shot off. That is really something that Kaya is struggling for tonight.
In this type of defense, last time I've seen something like this was in the early 2010s of the Philippine men's national team. And they were overeager to resume play here. Magre-reset daw tayo. Kaya trying to bring out all the tricks in the bag. And that's understandable, of course, when you're chasing a game. And here's the expected change that we were mentioning for the Aguilas, who lead 2-0. Yeah, Bukit and De Paula who will come in.
Substitutions for Aguilas UMAK FC.
Mirbach
Player number 5, Thomas
is
Mark
getting
Unsworth,
Unsworth
placed
to
by
exit the
player number
pitch as fast
27,
as
Ray
possible.
Bukit.
Maybe a little
And
friendly
number
escort off the
79,
field.
David Julian
Diretso na natin,
Colanco,
not so friendly.
placed by player number 6, Pedro Henrique De Paula.
And there you go, Combe will step off. Let's remember, he provided the assist earlier to set up Richard Tete. I'm a bit surprised, though, that they are subbing off Unsworth. You do not often change your back line, of course, especially in a high-stakes game like this where 2-0 helps, but it's still too close for comfort.
Or they might be making those substitutions in preparation for Kaya's counters. Now that they put fresher legs in the attacking points here, there could be some sort of change that they need to do to keep it into their favor.
And from what I am seeing, they just moved Tete to center back. He started his game as an attacking midfielder. Doubled the lead right here. But you're seeing fresh legs here. This is the response of the Aguilas because the defending champs inserted Mike Ott. Martini got it to Mike. Cleared up by De Paula, the Brazilian midfielder. That one literally going to the bleachers. Shuto Kamaki got this one. Tete. Got it to Villarreal who cleared it. Definitely no onside there when Shuto got it because it's off the throw in.
And so far, the changes that have really been making those effects right now. Kaya, you could see that Mike Ott has been getting involved a lot with the ball, making those runs, trying to get the ball into uncomfortable areas for the Aguilas defense. But so far, they have not been able to get that control that they were expecting from a Mike Ott.
So Martini Ray was supposed to step off for Joven Bidik, but they withdrew or put a pause to that. It seems that they are going to either delay that change or make it another player. Long ball over the top. Can Mirbach get this? Still keeps it with them. Diano from Mirbach. Yamazaki. Got to shake off Cartalara for a bit. Diano just made it a throw in here. Now he's playing against Ray Bukit, the Indonesian, on this side of the wing.
Kaya just trying to be reactive with the kinds of attack that Aguilas are doing, and so far they have the momentum going because you can see that Aguilas aren't pushing as hard right now, but at the same time they are not able to take advantage of this, and Kaya just waiting for Aguilas to get in good positions. Just look at the movement from Aguilas right now. Really patient in the build-up.
You have golden chances here and there. You hit the goal frame twice. What is missing for Kaya? They're taking the shots from prime opportunities, I will say.
Well, I guess it's something that you said earlier.
And JV Calcaran will send it out.
What you said earlier was somebody wanted it more. And looks like for some reason Aguilas has just willed the 2 goals into reality for them.
Substitution for Kaya FC Iloilo. Player number 88, Kaishu Yamazaki.
Kaishu Yamazaki is furious. And the way he just went onto the bench, immediately taking off his jersey in frustration.
Looks like they're not looking for defensive players anymore.
So it's Joven Bidik who came in for Yamazaki. But it's Calcaran on your picture who is down. It seems he is also in need of medical attention. Benefit of the doubt. There are instances also where you have a team in the lead and they would look to run the clock. And I always say this regardless of who is leading, as you know.
And it's also while the fans, for example, the Kaya fans are very unhappy with that, you could say that it is part and parcel of the game.
Well, of course, in the perspective of Philippine football fans, you saw Tajikistan run the clock because they were okay with that 1-1 result versus our men's national team. Here's Bidik now to pile up the pressure and add some physicality into the mix. But Bidik for Yamazaki is not a like-for-like change. And that is why you have Martinez attacking midfield.
And Ray has been utilized as a more defensive player in his early games with Kaya as well. So it is, I've seen him being played or being pulled back a little bit from time to time back then. So it's interesting.
But really more of an attacking mid, as we know, but he is versatile. In his last season, or seasons, to be precise, his second to the last season with FEU, he was playing the false 9. Dick tried to go for the spectacular. That's the opportunity that presented itself for him. Peña got to thread the needle. He's lacking in a bit. Aurimendio is the best one there, and he got it. Leto did well to also quickly return it. Just as Palpalato gifted it to Shuto, won it back, and it's with them.
You know, now that you've mentioned it, I think that the reason why Ray is in the holding midfield position is because I think they are going to forego of that position and in favor of a more attacking-minded player here. Want to push more people forward.
Yep, Joven Bidik again, right, who came in for Yamazaki. That's an attacking player coming in for a midfielder. And Eric Kesso was definitely held on to there. "17 minutes and additional time remaining right here. It's 2-0 again. Cartalarok gave the Aguilas the lead in the first half. The Aguilas also got to double things with Richard Tete. It was Isa Dialia who assisted the opening goal. David Kumu assisted the second.
And those passes were really accurate, spectacular, and threading the needle kind of stuff.
Bukid versus Mirbach. And it's a whistle that will go the way of Julius. So second motion here between De Paula and Eric Kesso. Kesso wanting to resume play ASAP. De Paula either trying to get into his head, trying to delay the restart, or both.
But looks like the referee has already told him off, so there is a chance that this would be the last time he can do something like that.
We've seen not too many cards also in this game, pero meron na.
I think we are running at 2 or 3 cards this evening.
It's all up to Maikot now. Sent it off target. But I believe an Aguilas player got a touch. That is why, kahit outside na yung bola, tinapik pa sana ni Shiraoka. Maikot, corner taken quickly. Jobin, Eric Kesso took a touch with Maikot. Only goes to Dodong Villarreal. Some connections here between Cart, Kalukaran. There's also Peña now. It's with JV. Not so sure about the intention there, but the player down for the Aguilas. We're back to chase. No angle. But it is denied by Tete. Maybe a candidate for man of the match. And the reason why I say that is because he scored And the responsibility is on him to get a clean sheet.
And Richard Tete has done more than his share to just keep this defense in line. Let's have a look at that again. Shiraoka was seeing that the ball was on its way out, had to put a touch to it. Right here, that pass. And Murbach just needed to get a decent ball in, but it was just too close, and Tete reacted the way he needed to. Get the ball away, be first to it.
Corners piling up. Are these corners enough to stress the defense of the Aguilas?
Substitution for Aguilas.
Well, let's remember, it's 2-0 here.
Player number 17,
Kaya with some work to do.
But
Obviously, it starts with a lifeline, which is pulling back a goal. Diallo just stepped off as it was mentioned. They'll float it in. Malumanzoko on the far post, no good.
Got to the ball first, Malumanzoko, but couldn't redirect it towards the goal. Already a full jump there, but the man marking made it hard for him.
Ikumi Hiruta just stepped in for Isa Diallo. So your players who set up the goals of the Aguilas have been subbed off already. Diallo and Coom.
Could be their intention to hold on to this right now, because honestly, this is a good position to hold.
We did a time check earlier when it was at the 73rd minute, and we're in the 77th now. Just like that. The dick out wide. Martinez Kababayan also trying to provide support. But this is very routine for Shiraoka. And before we forget also, we want to remind PFL fans and football fans that Manila Digger will be playing their AFC Challenge League semi-final leg 2 match right here on Thursday. So it's 1-1 actually for Digger versus PKR's Beirang. The winner, essentially, in that second leg will advance over to the final, which will be against a team from the West Zone of the AFC. As Bukit just won a foul here in the heart of the midfield, or on the left to be precise.
You know, it's a good point that you brought that up as well, because if you can recall, several opportunities for Kaya to also breach the Asians as well has been really nothing but a show of disappointment for them.
But if you want to play in the AFC level, you have to beat the defending champs, Kaya, on the PFL stage. Teams have mounted challenges to Kaya, as you've witnessed and as you see in the standings. It's the response that people are waiting for. Kaya again just went back to winning ways. They do not want to get another W. As much as they are already in the championship round, or which is the top 6, they need points to catch up with the top 3. Because you have to remember, as Peña is down and shaken up, because you have to remember, results in the first 2 rounds will carry over to the championship round. Also the consolation round for teams who finish at the bottom half of the standings.
Ooh. You can see there Mendy just clipping it. The elbow got a little bit of his foot, so Peña had to go down.
Here's Coach Bing. He was with Kai again in the first half of the season. The 3rd coach of the Aguilas in this season already. Coach Bing with experience not just with Kaya, also with Cebu seasons back. And that's what we were highlighting, the storylines in this game. You have Coach Bing facing his former team, where he was an assistant to Coach Iwashide, right? Will that familiarity work? But what we are seeing is Ori Menzi just let his frustration out at Ray Bukit. Frustration mounting here for Ori Menzi and the defending champs.
And this is as high stakes as it can get.
That's the word.
Kaya wants the 3 points, but I think Aguilas wants it more, and they are doing everything they can to keep themselves inside that top 6.
This is what end season football is all about. As much as it's not yet the championship round, parang playoffs na rin, because teams are chasing results that they need. And when you say chasing results, essentially, they have to sort of cram, because some games did not go their way. And now they're trying to get maximum points with minimal games. Kaya chasing the top 3 again in hopes of being able to challenge for the title. Aguilas trying to cement at least number 6. Tandaan nga natin, Glenn, the top 6, the results will carry over. May isa pang single round robin sila. That's an extra 5 games. Whoever finishes with the most number of points will be your champions in this edition of the Philippines Football League, which is the 2025-26 season.
And
Teams 7 through 11, will figure in a consolation round for placing again, but they will not be able to finish higher than 7th, as you were saying,
Well, no, I just wanted to point out as well that while a league would mean that the teams in the middle have nothing to fight for, that is exactly the reason why you would have the drop, as I keep calling it throughout this afternoon. Because if you still have a chance of making it into the top 6, talagang lalaban at lalaban ka. And look at this fine example here. Aguilas is already too far for having championship dreams, but to get to that top 6, they need to get the 3 points, and they are certainly wanting it more now.
And with the professionalism that you see from the top teams in the PFL, you see they always play for the result. It is actually somewhat similar to last season. You had the title race, and then you also had teams who were looking to make the top 4 at the least, because the top 4 figured in a separate tournament, which was like a Super Copa. It was called the PFL Final Series, where the winner booked a seat in the Shopee Cup. And tandaan nga natin, Cebu actually just barely got 4th spot. Sila pa nag-champion dun, kaya sila nag-represent sa Shopee Cup. As there was that play that resulted to Mardiano hitting the deck. But let's talk about, or let's stay in the moment. The top 2 will get spots to play overseas football. Kung sino man magcha-champion dito sa PFL, they will get to play in the AFC Champions League 2 qualifying playoff. If they lose there, they will head over to the AFC Challenge League. That's where Digger are currently competing. And whoever finishes as the champion will also represent the Philippines in the Shopee Cup, which is your club football tournament for AFF. So you have Toyoda, who is going to enter in a bit for Diano. Unfortunately, Mardiano cannot resume.
And as it really approaches the end of it, dito na nga nakikita yung tinatawag nating crunch time for Kaya. If they really want to get something out of this, then the passes have to be more deliberate. The attempts have to be with conviction. And so far, Aguilas has been the one that's showing that they want a 3rd goal here.
And when you say crunch time, if you're having a bad game, but if you could stay efficient in crunch time, you could salvage a result. Cartalarok cut it back off of Malamanzoko, and just bouncing off what you were saying. If you're Kaya, you want to be on the attack and not defending, because Aguilas are closing in on the dagger.
The final nail to the coffin, as we say it. At yun yung talagang hinahanap mong mentality if you want to win games during crunch time, to just keep pushing forward. 50-50 challenges dapat should go your way, but so far it has been more Aguilas right now.
They'll look to run the clock right here in the corner. As Eric Esso hit this one. It came off of JV Caloocanan, kaya throw in kay Eric. Mirbackers just being held on to there. It's Bidik to bring it up. Komaki. Could he make amends for hitting the post earlier? There's Mike caught in the middle. He gets it as expected. Jovin. Bidik. Oh, there you go. It's a trademark Bidik goal when you need it the most. We did say they're searching for a lifeline. But is it too little too late? But they're the defending champs. And to beat them, you have to knock them out. But they are looking to stay close.
It's as scrappy as it can get. You could see you were really not expecting that goal to come from anywhere. But Bidik just held on to that. Let's have a look at it here from multiple angles. The quad view by Screen Sports. And they were not taking it. They were not expecting that Bidik would make that impossible shot right there, twisting his body beyond the reach of everybody.
Still got that one on target while he lost his footing and hit the pitch.
3 minutes and change. I mean, we've seen, and that's the beauty of football right there, in these dying minutes, that the whole complexion of the game can change in a snap.
It's in Melisa now. He's another player who can come up big for Kaya. But he's been able to already in his time with this club. Cart gets this one. That was Adamu earlier who was holding up play for them. If the defending champs are going to go down, which is something they don't want, but you're going to see them go down swinging. It's the Aguilas looking to book a spot in the championship round, or to close in on a spot in the championship round. They will need a result also in their next game to add to 3 points here. Ganun kahirap yung sitwasyon nila. But for Kaya, a victory actually will level Kaya with Cebu on points. But the Gentle Giants will hold a match on hand. But again, with this end season situation, minimal games, maximum points. Mike, there's De Paula also holding on to him. They wanted to go for Jovin again, no surprise. Ott with some decisions to make as Martini Ray's shot is out. Goal kick daw ang tawag dito.
And I think even Ray was not expecting that pass at all, but he just made the best of what he can with that shot. Just pulled the trigger as soon as he saw it.
Less than 60 seconds remaining until stoppage time, and we could expect to have a hefty number of minutes added on. And there is a player down in the center circle for the Aguilas. 2-1 again is the score. Talarok made it 1-0 earlier in the first half. It became 2-0, courtesy of Richard Tete. Jovin Bidik, though, gave us another highlight goal. But it's not the highlight they're going for right here again. They are chasing the game.
It all depends on how much added time would be put in here. Would there be enough? Here comes the fourth official, and we get 8.
That is an eternity right here. There is also a change being lined up for Coach Ping. Kira Yamamoto will enter. There's actually a strong Japanese presence or influence with our two teams. Adamu continues to be down. Eric Esso and Mike Ott obviously want to resume this quickly. They are trying to plead their case to our referee this evening, Samuel Mendoza.
This is definitely a show of sportsmanship, but at the same time, just helping get the game go a little bit quicker here. Menzi with the gesture.
Always the benefit of the doubt.
Ibigay natin yan na gesture of sportsmanship.
Other than the change where you expect Kira Yamamoto to enter, you see Richard Talarok also at the half line. Talarok a defender. The player stepping off for Richard Talarok. There you go. That is confirmed because there's no number 9 player on the pitch right here for Coach Bing. And Jacob Peña will call it a day. You could argue he played the full 90 in this instance.
Oh, yes. Being taken out at stoppage definitely puts you in the 90-minute club.
And we did highlight again that vital role of Jacob Peña.
Substitution for Aguilas UMAK FC.
He got the start. He was playing central midfield. He dictates the tempo of the game.
And player number 19, Ibrahim Adamu, replaced by player number 21.
There you go. It's also confirmed that Ibrahim Adamu stepped off for Kira Yamamoto. Audi Menzi is down though. That may have been a hit to the gut. Here's a shot now. Not a problem for Dato. He gets it going the other way now. That was Ray Buket earlier who put that one on target but lacked power to trouble Dato.
Ooh, Menzi is complaining about something in his back.
From what I saw, he got hit in the stomach. He'll try to soldier on because they are running out of time. They're almost at the halfway point of stoppage time. We have 8 minutes allocated. But remember also, with the way that added time is announced with the newest AFC protocol, they say that the added time allocated is the minimum number of minutes. If we exceed that, it will be all up to our referee. And in this evening, it is Samuel Mendoza. Audi will try to bring it in. Cleared right there. There was friendly fire in the initial clearance.
And this is what Kaya wants, a bit of chaos inside that box. They're hoping that in the confusion, Aguilas makes a mistake.
Can Komaki get this? Not the case. We will have to ask Brian Palpalatok if this is the game of his life, along with JV Kalukaran, because they stopped Kaya's dynamic players on the wings. Menzi will send it with his right. Shiraoka punched it. Open goal for a moment. Martini up with a recycle. That may have hit a teammate.
And Kaya right now just pouring the people forward and hoping that we can get a shot away. The pressure has to be consistent. They cannot lose the ball here if they want to get something out of this.
The Aguilas did play with fire enough occasions also. Hence, it's 2-1. If we see a goal, it's the most important one. That's for Kaya to at least salvage a draw, which they will be disappointed to walk away with, but they're going for damage control. Aguilas need the win again. The Aguilas do not get the result. They're going to face an absolutely hill climb to make it to the top 6.
Well, so far with current appearance of the scoreline, Aguilas are definitely at the advantage. Even if they were to drop the 3 points and just settle for 1, that still puts them in a good position. And it's Maharlika. They certainly wouldn't want to let go of 3 points now that they have it.
Could they translate into a result? Coach Bing seemed calm as ever, of course, heading into this game. Joven gets it in the middle. Give it over to Martini. Trying to thread the needle. Malumanzoko shoots! And it's denied by Shiraoka, who has also played a superb game with his defense.
And I think they were calling it, they thought that Malumanzoko was offside. The flag has stayed down, but instead, a Aguilas player is down. Looks like with the linesman.
Yes, because Tepola goes to Shiraoka. It's just at the edge of the goalkeeper box. Here's Martini.
That definitely puts him onside there. And what a shot that was. Should have been, but couldn't be.
We highlighted the brilliance of Joven Bedic in being clutch. That is why Kaya are within goal. But in instances where you have Timoshi Shiraoka helping the Aguilas offense, whether that be through a free kick in the half line with him going up as a keeper, or him scoring a goal, as we witnessed earlier this season. You call that Shiraoka time, and we just expounded the definition of Shiraoka time with this game. But they have about 2 minutes to hold on at least. Kaya with at least 2 minutes to rescue a draw. Yellow cards confirmed here on your screen. It's with Richard Talarok, Phuket calling for it. Menzi solid as ever at the back. Talarok, defending that as if he were a basketball player. And he is going to get booked, I assume. But it's against Eric Esso.
Yeah, you could. Eric Esso wanted to do the throw in so quickly, but got annoyed by the Aguilas player just blocking his way. He knocked the ball on the back of that player. The fourth official side.
Toyota with the long ball. One shot by the keeper. Shooter collects. The chance from the Aguila side continue. This is the case with the Kaya side. What a treat it has been. Both teams just giving their all. It's Melisa. Confidently secured by the Japanese goalkeeper of the Aguilas. We are 16 seconds past the allocated 8 minutes. It's all up on, or it's all under the discretion of our referee, Samuel Mendoza.
I think he's just adding up the time that. No, he did not.
There you go. That's the full-time whistle. You can say this is an upset. The Aguilas held on. They banked on Shiraoka time. They banked on their defense. They made their chances count. And they made them matter. And the Aguilas continue and carry on in that top 6 race. Their back would have been pinned against the wall further if they did not bag a result. For Kaya, they had catching up to do again. And 3 points today would have been massive for the defending champs to catch up with the top 3. And it goes the way of the prior Aguilas UMAK FC, and they banked on goals from Shortete, Artalarok. Joven Bedic gave them a lifeline. When he referred to Kaya, it was not enough and just becomes a mere consolation. Shuto Komaki Glenn also hit the post. Eric Esso also hit the crossbar. Point blank saves everywhere, left and right. Aguila somehow able to contain Kaya's relentless attack.
And, you know, Aguilas has just taken the initiative and ran with it from the first whistle. They never gave Kaya any opportunity to regain it. They did have a little lapse in that goal that led to Bedics, but in the end, Aguilas just did quite enough to take this upset and really own it. And they now put themselves in a great position to hold off against
Ladies and
Maharlika.
gentlemen, the final score.
The Aguilas are
is
now on 32
Aguilas
points.
UMAK
Alion right below at number
FC
6 with 31. Then you have Maharlika
Kaya
at
FC
29.
Iloilo
Kaya, on the
one.
other hand, 3 points adrift. Third place, Cebu. This is gearing up for a grandstand finish in the second round to determine who will be your top 6. Who will make it, of course, to the championship round. Who will be your bottom 5. Who will make it the consolation round. As we have the statistics, I expected possession to be a bit higher the way of Kaya, but as we know, Aguilas were able to get hold of the ball also in the second half well, but look at the shots, corners, you name them, all of the above, pati yung fouls.
And that's just the sign, the testament that Kaya wanted to get as many opportunities as they can. But again, it has been the relentless spirit behind Aguilas, just putting bodies in the way, desperate defending. And in the end, they were able to overcome the massive numbers that Kaya is able to churn out.
5 yellow cards given in this game. That came, of course, with the intensity. Let's look at this. Kaya will face Valenzuela, PB Menjola. Next, by my records, Aguilas will square off with 1 Taguig. Please continue to stay with us, of course, as we are going to take this to the pitch in a bit for our man of the match interview. And I'm seeing Shiraoka time, who's our man of the match. But that does it from our side of the commentary. This is Caro Manzano alongside Glenn Casas. And it ends Aguilas 2, Kaya FC Iloilo 1.
Congratulations. Congratulations on the result. What are your thoughts on the game?
まずディフェンディングチャンピオンの茅に勝てたことはとても嬉しいです。
So he just said he's very happy to he's happy to win to the defending champion last year, Kaya, and yeah, he's very happy about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry?
What went right? What went well and what went right given the result?
その試合でどこがうまくいってどこがうまくいって
うまくいったところは、もう本当に守備は全員で守って、点取れるっていうところで、うまくいかなかったところは、最後失点したところは、ディフェンスと僕含めてゴールキーパーのミスだと思うんで、そこはちょっと次の試合で修正したいです。
So he said he's very happy about the defending point, that we could defend well, but the bad thing is we consider 1 goal. So next time we should fix it and defend better.
So last question is, what's your message to the fans?
まずはアギラスUMAK FCをサポートしてくれたファンの皆さんありがとうございます。次もラストのリーグ戦になるんで、相手は今チャンピオンのタギックですけど、頑張ります。
So he said next match is the last match of the league this year. And we have a big match against Taguig. They are first place, so we need to play good and give the best of ourselves.
Okay.